Hi guys, welcome to TaylahTalk. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name's Taylah. This is TaylahTalk. What's up? And I occasionally die on camera. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are having a wonderful, magical day. Today I thought I'd bring you a storytime video because I know how much you guys love those. However, with this video I'm going to be giving you two stories in one because I figured they're a little short, but they're really, really embarrassing and or humiliating. So I was like, they both need to be shared. So let's get right to the story, shall we? The first story is how me and my friends essentially got like mugged. I guess is the best word to put this. This story starts, I think it happened maybe 2 years ago. Me and two friends decided that we're gonna go on like a mini road trip, and basically we wanted to drive for like 4 hours. We're going down south to meet my friend's grandma to collect some stuff from her. We're traveling down nevertheless, and we're going south, and the three of us are in the car having a great time, jamming out. We get to our first stop, which was in Ballina. Ballina is like in New South Wales. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like a whatever town. Like there's some stuff going on, but there's not too much going on. However, they have this thing called the Big Prawn, which is like a landmark, which is literally just a giant ass prawn, and you get your photo with it and stuff. And we did that, and we're having fun. And we went and got lunch, and then as we were driving around, we noticed that there was an abandoned McDonald's. And I was like, my like photographer senses started tingling, and I was like, can we try and get into this thing? When do you ever see a McDonald's that's abandoned? Like most of the time if they shut down, they just rip it apart and it becomes just a building. But I've never ever seen like a full-fledged McDonald's that's abandoned. Like I was like, we need to try to check this out. And we pull up, it was like a freestanding Macca's, and then next to it was like this big grass field, and then around it were just like normal everyday houses, like people lived there. Just like suburb streets. And we parked next to our house, and we like left our stuff in the car, and I grabbed my camera and we went into we found a way into the Macca's. I don't condone what we did at all. I don't recommend breaking into public property, but we didn't go inside the building. We just kind of like were around it. We like, the fence was broken, so we kind of just like slid in, and we were like walking around the outside of the building. We didn't get caught, so confessing this might be a little problematic, but it happened 2 years ago, so yeah, but it's not important. The building police isn't even there anymore. But yeah, me and my friends, we did like a little photo shoot. It was really cute. Stuff wasn't like smashed or anything, it was just literally like all closed up, and it was kind of freaky, to be honest. Like thinking back on it, it was kind of scary. As we were looking around the McDonald's, we glanced over at the car, just, you know, checking the car. And we noticed that a few people are like hovering outside their houses, but it wasn't just like 1 or 2, it was like 6 people, and they were just like chilling, and they're all like slowly getting into their cars. It wasn't like suspicious, but it was kind of like they came out of nowhere kind of thing. And we're like, oh, that's weird. And then as we like finished our thing, started walking back towards our car, about 4 cars drove out of the houses around our car and left. We were like, that's weird. And as we walked back to the car, we noticed that the door isn't sitting quite like closed, and we're like, oh, that's weird. We get in the car, and my 2 friends notice that all their stuff is missing, and I was like, crap, because I left my lens, like I left my camera bag basically in the car and just took my camera with the lens it was on with me, and I'm like, fuck. And I start digging, and I find my camera bag, everything's in it, and my phone's still in the little like middle part of the car, whatever you call it. Like, okay, so my stuff's here, but the 2 friends I was with, my friend who was driving, her phone was stolen and her wallet was taken, as well as my friend in the back. I was kind of like, why did they skip me? And we kind of assumed that it was like at least 1 or 2 of those people from the cars, because they just like literally got in their car and drove off as soon as we got there. After we got mugged, my friend turned around who was driving and was like, I'm sorry guys, I totally forgot to mention that the back door on the side doesn't like lock properly. All the other car doors locked, but not that one. And I'm like, I wish you said something earlier, because like, we would have taken that stuff with us. Anyway, we had to like go to the police station and file a report and be like, we were mugged inside our car. Is that even like the right term? Because mugged is when you like, when they approach you, right? We had stuff stolen from our car. I guess this is the best way to put it. And then we just kind of, after we did the report, accepted the loss, made phone calls, like cancel like cards and phones and things like that, like, you know, the usual. And then we continued our road trip, but it wasn't quite the same after that. I was so weirded out how they didn't take anything of mine, but the logic I think behind it was like the car, okay, like imagine you're looking on top of the car's like this, there's 2 seats here and 2 seats here, the driver seats here because I'm Australian. The door that was unlocked was this one, so I feel like they went and grabbed her stuff, probably reached around and grabbed her stuff, but then realised that my stuff was just that too far away, like if they were just trying to be quick. So I'm feeling blessed in that regards. I would have been a wreck if someone took my lenses and stuff. I would have been a wreck. But that's basically the time that our car got broken into and stolen. Like, what is the title of this segment? The next story time, however, is totally embarrassing on my fault, and it's super, super shameful. I thought of this story the other day when I was talking to my friend Alana, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make that into a story time. I totally forgot about that. I wish I remembered this when I did my embarrassing period stories, because you guys really liked that video. It got like over 1,000 views. It was great. I really wish I thought about this, because this is another embarrassing period story, but this is like next level embarrassing. Let's just get right into the story. So basically, one day I was with my guy friend, we'll name him Phil. So me and Phil went and saw a movie, and I can't remember the movie for the life of me. We went to the movies all the time. We were like movie buddies, like once a week we used to go to the movies. It was great. But yeah, we went to the movies, and after the movies, you know, after sitting down eating food and stuff in the movie, you like need to pee, like you need to go. This basically happened. I was on my period, which is kind of like, I'm assuming you would have guessed that based off like that little introduction thing. But I was on my period, and I'm like, hey, do you go to the bathroom? I was like, just wait for me, I'll be back in a second. I went to the bathroom, you know, as a girl does, cleaning, da-da-da-da, like usual ta-da stuff. You know, wash my hands, leaving the bathroom. He sees me and he's like, okay, let's go. We start heading down the stairs of the cinema to, like, because this way this cinema works is that the cinemas are upstairs from a shopping mall. And we're walking down the stairs, and I hear a camera click noise. And I'm like, I naturally just turn around, and I see him there with his phone. And like, he's like, oh fuck, the flash wasn't on. And I go, what are you doing? And because I thought he was taking a photo of me, like that's what it like looked like, because he's like this. He goes, no, turn back around. And I'm like, why? And I instinctively turn around. As I turn around, I see this white flash of like something sway with me. And I'm like, no, there's no fucking way. As I turn around and I put my hand there, I realize that it's toilet paper hanging out of my pants while I'm on my period. Can we just have like a moment of silence for like the piece of my dignity that died that day? And I'm like, so I grabbed it. I could feel exactly what you'd expect on the toilet paper, and I literally just grab it and shove it into my pants, because we're in a public space. Like, there's no way I'm just gonna pull this out and be like, no. And so I'm like, okay, push it in there. And he's like, oh, come on, I was gonna get a photo. And I was like, and ruin my life. Could you imagine if he got that photo? Holy shit. We're not friends now, and I can guarantee that'd be somewhere on the internet. I just went like red, and I'm like, ha ha ha, like trying to play it off. And I remember him just being like, oh my god. It's like, he was so angry that he didn't get the photo. But I ran to the next bathroom and like went, and it turns out that it like caught, like it must have been like a long piece of toilet paper or something, because as it was like wrapped around the top of my undies. So it must have been like, as I was pulling up, it might have been like hanging out or something, and it got caught, and just, oh, it's so embarrassing. And I remember just like pulling it all out and being like, god damn it, Taylah, why? And I like washed my hands again and like walked out, and he's like, so, and I'm like, can we just pretend that this never ever happened? I'm so sorry. He like didn't let me live it down for like a little while. It was a couple months of like, you got something on your butt, Taylah. And I'm like, what? At least it wasn't like a massive stain, because I wouldn't have been able to hide that. But like, that's so embarrassing. Like, only me. Only me. So that's the end of the story time video. I hope you like these kind of short time story times. If you do, please tell me down below. And please tell me if anything embarrassing like this has ever happened to you. And if you have any more suggestions for story times of things like that. Like, I know story times are like personal stories, but if there's like certain things you want to know, that'd be really cool, and I'll happily tell you. And if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more, because I noticed the other day that in my like little like thingamabob where it tells you all your stuff about your channel, that like 80% of my viewers unsubscribed. Like, why guys? Why are you gonna break my heart like that? It's free, it takes 2 seconds, just click that little red button and it will make my world. And just love you all so much. Like, I just... And until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.